Good evening and welcome to Glasgow Cathedral. It's lovely to welcome you here this evening for this special evening for so many people. There are folks here in what we call the choir of the cathedral, there are folks out in the nave of the cathedral, and there are folk watching us online internationally. So welcome to all, whether you're here, there or everywhere. For 900 years, people have been coming to this space in Glasgow. This building goes back to the 12th century, but you can go back to the 3rd century and the 4th century, and there was still a settlement in Glasgow on this spot. So there is something beautiful about bringing folks who are starting out, stepping over the threshold of their career and their profession, coming back in a sense to this ancient touching place for the city. Now, as the minister here, I get the opportunity to welcome lots of people in the course of the year. We have over 500,000 visitors come to the cathedral each year. Many of them are in cruise ships that are docked at Greenock and they make their way here. I wish I could say, sit back and relax, but I have sat in these pews. And with this being a 12th century building, we don't really have most of the amenities that a modern building would have. It used to be that they dug a trench round the back and that was where you had to go. But tonight I see the portaloos in the car park. So welcome. I hope tonight is a night of joy, a night of celebration and a night of recognition for the work that's been done, for the teaching that has gone on and the engagement with all that it's meant to be part of the college. It is our privilege as the congregation at Glasgow Cathedral to welcome the college this evening. So welcome to Glasgow Cathedral.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, graduates, distinguished guests, and those joining us via our live stream. On behalf of City of Glasgow College, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to Glasgow Cathedral for today's graduation ceremony. We are delighted that so many family members, friends and supporters are able to join us, both here in the Cathedral and online to celebrate this special occasion. Before we begin, may I ask that you please ensure that all mobile phones and other electronic devices are switched off or set to silent so that we can enjoy the ceremony without interruption. In the unlikely event of an emergency, please remain seated and follow the instructions of our stewards, who will guide you safely from the cathedral. I would now like to invite everyone to stand, if you are able, for the arrival of the platform party. Please remain standing until all members of the platform party have taken their seats. Thank you.
Rear Admiral Stephen McCarthy, CB, Chair, members of our board, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, families and friends, and of course, graduates. My name is Roy Gardner, and I'm the Deputy Principal and Chief Operating Officer here at the City of Glasgow College. Welcome to our 2026 summer graduation. Apologies about the weather. I must say how delighted we are that we are in the resplendent Glasgow Cathedral, a 12th century setting. All our graduates, whether present here today, joining us from abroad, or on board ship, overseas, watching on the internet, friends and family, you should all be very proud of your success we are celebrating here today. It makes the qualifications you have worked for so hard even more impressive an achievement. As is customary, this evening's ceremony commences with an address from our college's founding principal and Chief Executive, Captain Dr. Paul Little, CBE. Paul is a distinguished and highly respected academic leader who has successfully transformed 5 tertiary institutions across the UK. Principal Little is the outgoing chair of the UK's first shipbuilding task force, and Paul brought about his dynamic leadership to the task force for over 40 years of naval insight as a veteran Coast Guard officer, younger brother of Trinity House, member of UK Merchant Navy Board, and both member of Merchant Navy and the Royal Navy Associations. He's also a Fellow of the Royal Society of Edinburgh, a Fellow of the Nautical Institute, an honour bestowed upon him for recognition of his substantial recognition and achievements in maritime education and training. Dr. Paul Little, CBE, is an Honorary Royal Navy Captain, having been appointed to the rank in 2021 in recognition of his long-standing support for the Royal Navy and maritime sector. He is also a member of the UK Chamber of Shipping and even has time to help steer Scotland's maritime strategy through the Scottish Maritime Cluster. An avid seafarer himself, our principal has an incredible career of almost 40 years in tertiary education with a very practical voluntary role in both the UK and USA Coast Guard. Paul knows what it takes to go to sea, serve at sea, but more importantly, come home safely. Throughout his distinguished career, he continues to passionately advocate for the merits of equalising access to education as the great enabler for underpinning social mobility. His leadership continues to redefine tertiary education and rightly ensures that students remain the focal point of everything that we do here at the City of Glasgow College. Ladies and gentlemen, our Principal, Paul Little.
Thank you, Deputy. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Chair, Admiral, members of our college board, distinguished guests, colleagues, families and friends, and especially our graduating class of 2026. Now, I warmly welcome each and every one of you here this evening to the magnificent summer graduation in our 12th century cathedral. I extend a very warm Glasgow welcome also to all those families and friends watching online across the globe, and indeed some of our seafarers who have already joined their ships and they're watching from far and wide, east and west. I'm particularly delighted this evening to welcome as our guest of honour the distinguished Rear Admiral Steve McCarthy. I'll formally introduce him at the end, but I'm looking forward very much, Steve, to your inspirational address, so no pressure there. Class of 2026, after officiating at many graduation ceremonies, I want to assure you that this is by far the highlight of my academic year. I believe it's an honour to confer your award personally to you and also to share in your success and in your celebration. I got a little bit of an insight to that at the afternoon tea earlier on. I know you're all excited about coming up. I did actually photograph some of you coming up, unfortunately in the rain with your purple and white umbrellas, but I was very proud of that because it caused a bit of a stir in the city, so well done for that. Admiral, I was very struck by the remarks of last year's distinguished speaker. We alternate, ladies and gentlemen, between a Merchant Navy guest speaker and a Royal Navy guest speaker. And last year, we had a Merchant Navy alumni from the college who had studied and was in your very seat some 40 years ago. Now, we never see the guests of honour speech, really, and I haven't seen Steve's speech before he makes it today. So I was very struck when he started to deliver that speech, and actually he opened his speech by saying, in his day, they didn't have a graduation. In his day, after their oral examinations, they all went to the pub. Now, I'm not sure we're all going to disappoint you that we haven't gone to the pub tonight. I hope that you think that in this magnificent, historic cathedral, and you were in the footsteps of that. You made a little history tonight. You walked past the mighty River Clyde. We're in Glasgow's historic 12th century cathedral. And Glasgow has got a 400-year history of mercantile trade crisscrossing the globe. It's one of the seafaring capitals of the world. So you are very much in that lineage of the next generation of seafarers. And I reflected, Admiral, about how things have changed. And indeed, with time and effort, they have changed for the better. Here we are in a distinguished graduation with resplendent in the robes, and we're very publicly marking not just your academic achievement, but we're actually also publicly saluting your professionalism, your resilience, and indeed your commitment to completing what is one of the most demanding professional training journeys anywhere in higher education. And I hope you'll agree that this is a suitable setting for that. You know, class of 2026, you have definitely created your own little history. Here we are you study in a 21st century campus, the most modern of all 230 such nautical colleges in the world. But you're also part of a tertiary institution that dates back well over 170 years old. And for those locals in Glasgow, one of our distinguished alumni that has passed through our doors is the very famous architect Charles Rennie Mackintosh. And there have also been distinguished admirals and vice-chancellors and chancellors of universities that have started in our legacy institutions. And here you are, graduating from the City of Glasgow College. Some of your cadet managers, some of our distinguished guests from the maritime industry would have graduated from the Glasgow College of Nautical Studies, and we are that next generation. You know, it's also a real pleasure to see our minister here this evening, the Reverend Mark Johnson. He's a great friend of the college, and he lends us this cathedral for this evening. So thank you very much, Mark, for that. So amongst this academic splendor, it's a time to recognize the collective effort to get you sitting on that seat here this evening. Now, many lecturers have helped nurture your talent. They're in the audience, they're beside you, they're in front of you, and they have overseen your personal growth. But I also want to pay a very public tribute to the mums and dads, the grandparents, the aunts and the uncles, the friends, the supporters, the guardians, who have stood shoulder and shoulder with you, be it over 1, 2, 3, 4 years, or indeed more of study with us. Now, graduation times are a very important and public time to recognize and also to remember. So I also want to single out our cadet managers from the various sponsoring organizations who have helped you to achieve this career, and indeed what I believe to be one of the few left adventures of a lifetime for young people. You know, over that time, you have worked diligently with your lecturers, with your cadet managers, with the sponsoring companies, indeed to have a professional education, a technological education, an education that's involved simulators and some of the most advanced technology anywhere in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, at City of Glasgow College, we have got 7th generation simulators. So if you think about our fighters, our jets, our 5th generation, at City of Glasgow we've got 7th generation simulators. They're not actually on the market at this stage. And the cadets, young and old, have had an opportunity to work with those in simulating sea time. And what have they been doing? Well, they are hyper-realistic in the operational scenarios that we present to them. So, for example, in a condensed period of time, we're able to help them navigate congested port passage, to work through and pass safely through busy shipping lanes, global shipping lanes, to respond to fires at sea, perhaps as on-scene commanders, or indeed to experience in a safe way the extremes of ocean passage making. Now, I'm thinking back to that alumni of last year, 40 years on, that was never available to him. And here you are, you've got access to simulation, which having been to the East and West, I'll say a little bit about America and China and Japan, is probably 10 years ahead of some of these other maritime colleges elsewhere in the world. Now, as Scotland's Polytechnic, our collective purpose, beyond maritime but including maritime, is to each and every day try to enable a very powerful collective purpose, which is to let learning flourish. And we do so to inspire excellence and indeed to deliver a transformational education for the many and not the privileged few. We are acutely aware that in Scotland, we're here to train and nurture the next generation of maritime leaders and seafarers. We also are aware that opportunity is made available to all our students because we believe that talent is everywhere, opportunity is not everywhere. Now, we do this in a very specialist way, and I make no apologies with this. Our Scottish universities cannot deliver what we deliver at our Polytechnic. We're a very specialist institution delivering professional education, technological education, higher skills. And nowhere in Scotland can actually do that. And we've invested very heavily, over £100 million in maritime training alone, and £250 million elsewhere. So we have got serious skin in the game. We have got serious commitment to excellence, to innovation, to student success. And it's quite right that nowadays we have a global reputation. Indeed, Admiral, we train now well over 40% of all UK Merchant Navy cadets. We do so training alongside them many international officers, many senior seafarers, some of which are graduating here this evening from across the globe. And I'm pleased, Admiral, that we're also training an increasing number of Royal Fleet Auxiliary and Royal Navy officers, particularly in engineering, and hopefully in the future in navigation as well. You know, this evening in this audience, ladies and gentlemen, and watching online, we have got graduates from England, Scotland, Ireland, Pakistan, India, Kuwait, Nigeria, and Angola and Oman. That's a truly global enterprise. Tonight we celebrate your achievements, we celebrate the achievements of our graduates and also our special award winners. And tonight we have got disciplines represented here from HNC in Marine Engineering. We put engineering first, Steve. HND Marine Engineering, the Professional Development Award in Marine Management, Marine Engineering, the HND in Marine Electrotechnology, the HNC in Nautical Science for officers of the watch through the Experienced Seafarer route, the HND in Nautical Science, the Advanced Diploma in Nautical Science, the Progression Award in Marine Management Nautical Science, the Advanced Diploma in Nautical Science for our chief mates and our masters, and the HND Science for our chief mates and our masters. That's quite a collection of very specialist qualifications that are represented here tonight. And they're a fraction of the 2,000 programmes are available elsewhere in Scotland's Polytechnic, City of Glasgow College. So sitting before us tonight, resplendent in their academic robes, and you look very well, cadet officers. We've got deck engineers, engineering officers, electrotechnical officers, officers of the watch, chief engineers, chief mates, and indeed we've got masters present. Now Glasgow, and indeed the United Kingdom, can be proud of its world-class centre of maritime excellence. It is, in my opinion, a veritable powerhouse of upskilling and reskilling, and indeed, as we're celebrating tonight, in front skilling. Our graduate officers leave us this evening with qualifications that are globally recognised. These are professional credentials that are earned through dedication, through discipline, through the achievement of technical excellence, and indeed through extensive service at sea. I also recognise tonight that some graduates already hold senior operational positions in the fleet, and you're now progressing to the highest levels of the professional ranks, indeed, in the Merchant Navy. Congratulations. Now, collectively, class of 2026, you are no ordinary graduate. You're a City of Glasgow College graduate. I will expand on that later. So we've witnessed your achievement tonight, and we do so with senior representatives from the global maritime industry, many who have travelled a considerable distance to be here tonight to support you, to recognise and to nurture your talent, and to discuss earlier with you at the afternoon tea and indeed after the ceremony. And they do so coming from the Royal Navy, from Anglo Eastern, from AW Crewing, from Carnival UK, from Clyde Marine Training, from Just Be Maritime, from MSC Cruises, from Princess Cruises, from the Royal Fleet Auxiliary, from Ship Safe Training Group, from Stream Marine, and indeed from Watermark. That's a huge range of sponsoring companies that each and every year help us to develop the next generation. I want to thank them and pay tribute. Now, I'm probably going to miss some senior maritime professionals tonight, but I am aware that somewhere in the audience we've got Duncan Telfer for the Nautical Institute, we've got Jim Holmes from the Merchant Navy Association, Thomas Campbell from Northern Marine, Kieran Turner from Stream Marine, Paul Galati and Mark Cheap from Northlink Ferries, Louise McLaughlin from Clyde Marine, Ro Abbott from Anglo Eastern, Peter Stewart from Clyde Marine, Suzanne Galloway from Just Be Maritime, David Campbell from CPAC, Christy Dawson from Carnival, Matt Selby from Carnival, Paul Payne from the Royal Fleet Auxiliary, Duncan Mackison from CalMac, Ron Hobson from NLB, and last but absolutely not least, Mark Bobby from the Merchant Navy Board, the chairman of the Merchant Navy Board tonight. Look, we sincerely thank all our industry partners for their continued trust, for their continued collaboration, and indeed for the investment that you and your colleagues make and help us develop the next generation of marine professionals and indeed marine leaders. Now, I'm going to ask our graduating class to be upstanding in about 30 seconds. So at these academic ceremonies where we've got these historic academic gowns, we've got a few traditions, and one of the traditions is that we pay tribute as a graduating class to all those lecturers, all those family members, all those companies, all those organizations that have helped us get there, because success is never a solo journey. If we've taught you anything, we work together as a team. So can the graduating class only please be upstanding and try and turn to your parents and friends and give them a very loud round of applause. So please be upstanding. All of you upstanding. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. That got the blood going. Class of 2026, City of Glasgow College plays an important system leadership role across the global maritime sector. Working with the top 20 shipping companies, working with the Tier 1 shipbuilding primes, working with the UK Merchant Navy Board, working with the UK Maritime Regulator, the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency, the City of Glasgow College's reach, its influence, and its industrial impact is truly impressive. Now, we take that institutional responsibility very seriously. We help shape maritime policy. We help shape international maritime policy. We help shape international maritime standards. We work very closely and increasingly closely with the Royal Navy, Royal Fleet Auxiliary, and indeed the defence industry in augmenting their training, especially in marine engineering. We've also contributed significantly to the Royal Naval Cadet Force modernisation, just as City of Glasgow College led the way of all the maritime colleges, and they're all important, but we led the way in the modernisation of Merchant Navy cadet officer training. We also played a supersized role in maritime policy during COP26, when we convened the world's shipping ministers and the top maritime leaders to debate decarbonisation, the development of future green skills, and also the adoption of new fuel technologies on our Riverside campus. In addition, our faculty colleagues have recently contributed to important discussions at the International Maritime Organization, the United Nations regulator for global shipping, as part of our engagement on seafarer education and the modernisation of seafarer training. Now, a major focus of those discussions was the growing role of high-fidelity simulation technology in maritime training, and how immersive bridge simulation can complement traditional time at sea whilst maintaining the highest professional and safety standards. With our advocacy, the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency have now approved sea time reduction for the bridge keeping and safety skills programme that was actually pioneered at the City of Glasgow College. Now, never resting on our laurels, we have further strengthened our international partnership network through the signing of memorandum partnership agreements with the leading maritime university in the United States, the State University of New York Maritime College, where we deepened collaboration in maritime education, in research, and indeed in professional development between two globally respected institutions. And we also did so in Asia with the top maritime university in Asia, which is the Tokyo University of Marine and Science. And we have a partnership agreement with that particular university, and indeed their top polytechnic at Toba, the National College for Marine Technology. We discussed how our cadets, your successors, can actually spend time aboard their training fleet and their vessels, as well as how we can together engage in joint research in autonomous shipping and indeed marine safety. Now, this international engagement is not a one-way process. Senior academic leaders from those institutions, both the US and Japan, will be with us before the summer and indeed after the summer to continue those partnership workings. These are very valued collaborative arrangements and reflect our collective shared commitment to scholarship, to excellence in maritime technological education, and indeed to enhancing what already is a very high standard in seafarer skills, so that together we can progress joint innovation, joint research on those very subjects, the implications of AI at sea, big data at sea, cyber at sea, and indeed autonomous shipping. And of course, the transition to net zero, which will be a particular benefit to the next generation of seafarers. In addition, City of Glasgow College is supporting the offshore wind sector. We're supporting shipbuilding through our engagement both here in the UK with this task force you heard earlier, but also with major Japanese conglomerates such as Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, Marubeni Corporation, Mitsui Corporation, OSK Lines, and indeed Japan Marine United. Now, Admiral, I hope you agree this demonstrates the very high esteem at which the City of Glasgow College, Scotland's Polytech, is held worldwide. Indeed, class of 2026, such are our high global standards of excellence that after a 6-month robust assessment, the global benchmarking organization sent a team of experts to the college for that time and assessed the City of Glasgow College as a 7-diamond organization. It's a very prestigious award, and there's less in my hand than have this award anywhere in the world. We finished overall an impressive 3rd in EFQM's overall organizations and received the highest award of any educational establishment in their 40 years history. City of Glasgow College was also recognised with the Queen's Anniversary Award, the highest award for tertiary education every 2 years in the United Kingdom, for our applied research into oxygen depletion in enclosed spaces aboard ships. This research has a global impact and has already saved hundreds of lives of seafarers across our oceans, and it's been adopted as part of the IMO code. So class of 2026, you might ask, so what? Well, when you come forward, when I shake your hand, when I present you with that scroll and confer your international award, you're graduating from Scotland's Polytechnic. You're graduating from Glasgow. You're graduating from an institution where 93% of the 40,000 students up to that can study with us are satisfied with their courses, where 97% of those students proceed to positive destinations. You're graduating from an institution that only teaches to excellence. The employers realize that standards and they value what you bring as a graduate. We want you to stand out as a Merchant Navy officer. We don't want you to blend in as part of the ship's company. So I hope that you will respect that globally recognized award, and I hope that you will realize that you are no ordinary graduate. You're a City of Glasgow College graduate. You're joining an elite network from around the world. I was recently in Houston in Texas, and there were 200 alumni just in Houston, Texas alone that sat in your very seat over the past few years. You're part of a world-class institution. You're part of an institution that's at the top of the global rankings. So please stand tall when you go aboard your ship and tell them that you graduated from Glasgow. That means something extra special. So family and friends, our graduates are indeed much sought after. Indeed, that's true of graduates elsewhere in the college. Employers look for those excellent standards. They look for the access to the technology. They look for graduates that leave us, that have been carefully nurtured with graduate attributes such as being digitally connected, being optimistic, being globally aware, and being eternally curious. These are all invaluable skills and attributes to thrive in our AI economy and our AI futures. Now, Mr. Chairman, City of Glasgow College is also proud of the important role that we play in the United Kingdom's defence and naval engineering capabilities. Through our close partnership with the Royal Navy and the Royal Fleet Auxiliary at our world-class campus, we now train a growing number of Royal Navy and Royal Fleet Auxiliary engineering cadets, and we hope that this will help in the future operational readiness of the UK Maritime Defence Fleet. Now I've got some final words to our graduating class. You know, it is true that your loved ones are very proud of you. You might not always show it, you might not always show it to them, but they're proud of your success. Your lecturers are proud of your success. The college is proud of your success. You've excelled in some of the most challenging times. You are extraordinary naval cadet officers. You leave us here ready. You leave us here ready to command ships, ready with the necessary skills and knowledge to transition, be it from the ship to the shore, from command to corporate, or indeed from leading a bridge or an engineering team to leading a teaching team or a ship management team. Some of you have earned extra special awards this evening for going above and beyond what we would have expected, even of our highest standards. And in doing so, these award winners have upheld the highest standards and the cherished traditions of the UK Merchant Navy. So graduating class, as a former Coast Guard and seafarer myself, and indeed as an honorary captain and a proud captain of the Royal Navy, I know only too well about life at sea. I know it teaches you about resilience, adaptability, and to keep calm in a crisis. What we call grace under pressure. Now, in your quieter moments, as you watch a sunset or just reflect on home, think of the words of William Arthur Ward. The adventure of a lifetime is to learn. The purpose of life is to grow. The nature of life is to change. The challenge of life is to overcome. The essence of life is to care. The opportunity of life is to serve. The secret of life is to dare. The spice of life is to befriend. And the beauty of life is to give. Now you're ready to set sail. I offer you, in time-honored tradition, fair winds and following seas to each and every one of you. Let Glasgow be proud of you. Let the global Merchant Navy and Royal Navy be proud of you and flourish. My heartiest congratulations. Well done. Thank you. And there'll be at least one or two of my staff that will be thankful I didn't cough during that. But the glass of water was a big help. Thank you, Claire. Rear Admiral McCarthy, let me, ladies and gentlemen, introduce a distinguished Royal Naval officer, a distinguished mariner, and increasingly a friend. Rear Admiral McCarthy currently serves as the Royal Navy's Chief Engineer Officer. He's got the responsibility for implementing the Royal Navy's engineering strategy and indeed in championing the profession across the Royal Navy as an engineer. Steve joined the Royal Navy in 1990 and qualified as a Marine officer in 1994, following training at sea and indeed at the Royal Naval College in Salton. Now, throughout a highly distinguished career, he has led major operational and engineering leadership roles, including aboard HMS Ocean, which is almost like an aircraft carrier. For those of you old enough who know HMS Albion, it was the predecessor of HMS Albion. He's also served aboard HMS Illustrious, an aircraft carrier. He's also had senior responsibility awards aboard the latest aircraft carrier, the Queen Elizabeth, and indeed is responsible for programs across its entire operations. He's a chartered marine engineer. He's a fellow of the Institute of Marine Engineering, Science and Technology. And Rear Admiral McCarthy has combined his operational leadership role with major programs and capability development at the highest levels of defence. He's one of the major leaders that's helping us rearm and rebuild our armed forces, particularly from a naval capability. Now, in recognition of his outstanding service, he was appointed the very high honour of Companion of the Most Honourable Order of Bath in the King's birthday in 2025. Class of 2026, I offer you the inspirational remarks of Rear Admiral McCarthy because he's had a remarkable career. He's demonstrated extraordinary excellence in marine engineering, in leadership, and indeed in service. So please, ladies and gentlemen, class of 2026, give an extra warm Glasgow welcome back to Rear Admiral McCarthy.
Principal, Chair, Dean, ladies and gentlemen, hello. How extraordinarily fortunate I feel to come and share this moment of celebration with you in this wonderful maritime city of Glasgow, itself with such an important part in the prosperity and security of Scotland and the United Kingdom, and with such good prospects for that maritime future to go from strength to strength in the heads and hands of the graduands who we've come to celebrate. And this joyous occasion, in truly inspiring surroundings, where we mark the achievements of this remarkable cohort of maritime professionals, I'd like to begin by offering my hearty admiration to each and every one of you on your hard work and determination to get here. But I'm going to start today with the friends, families, and loved ones who are here with you and who've been so instrumental in getting you here. Now, a year ago, almost to the day, I was sitting in the audience of a similarly impressive venue, watching my twins graduate, bursting with pride, and for me, at least a palpable sense of relief that they made it successfully through this most formative stage of their lives. And it's wonderful to relive that feeling vicariously through all of the friends and family here today. As the first mark of appreciation, I'd like to invite our graduands to reflect on your part in their plan. The people who are variously financial advisor, banker, chief caterer, cheerleader, fan club, travel agent, counsellor, and in my mum's case, psychic, and who've invested the love and confidence to shape you into this remarkable body of people who are before us today, and many of you out at sea and around the world. For your families, today might feel like the end of the journey, arriving at a destination, ejecting you from their bosom and bank account into the big wide world. For some of you, into the lure of the high seas. And we've shown our appreciation in a round of applause. But let's just take a moment to reflect that love back onto them for all that they've done for you. However, for the graduands, today might feel like the start of a journey, stepping confidently off from the familiar and comforting surroundings of college, a pastoral and learning environment that's been a feature of most of your days since, as your parents, we entrusted you to school when you were 5. Your journey, the excitement and optimism of your career ahead, is awash with opportunities. And as you step off, I'd like to offer a couple of reflections from my journey, to reach out with a helping hand and to welcome you to our noble profession as maritime engineers, technologists, and seafaring professionals. As Chief Naval Engineer Officer, I'd like to start by co-opting all of you as engineers, not in the sense of a job title, but more in an appreciation and identity of what engineering truly is. The name engineer is derived from the Latin felix ingenium. It translates to beautiful mind, and to me, that is very much more what an engineer is all about. We're curious, imaginative, creative, practical people. We love a good problem to turn our felix ingeniums to, from fixing what's broken to designing the future. Being an engineer is a mindset before it's a job. And as graduands and maritime professionals, you're also on a leadership journey. That journey is as formative as the technical one that brought you here, and is the greatest privilege that you will enjoy. I've always considered organizations and ships particularly as a social construct, something that lives in the imagination of the people who serve. Admiral Charles Napier famously reflected that a navy is constituted of sailors and not ships, and this has held true to me throughout my career. Success is born of the people you work with long before it's born of the tools at your disposal. So lead confidently with consensus and trust. As an engineer or a bridge watchkeeper, lead with deep technical professionalism. After all, you get the standards that you set. Lead consciously to develop your team, to build strength in depth, and to lift the next generation. Build those who will succeed you to be more successful than you, and lead with unrelenting optimism and enthusiasm. You'll face difficult and occasionally dark times when, as leaders, all the faces will turn to you for a choice. Nobody wins when that attitude consigns them to lose. And be sure to laugh a lot, to keep the idea of your team, of your ship, your little revolution, your band of brothers and sisters, fighting your cause, alive and well. And I encourage you to remain inquisitive. be bold and adventurous, and step forward when opportunities present themselves. My experience is that as humans, to a greater or lesser extent, we all have insecurities. We all feel anxiety. It's normal and natural as part of the human condition. Finding the strength and confidence to embark on a new endeavour, to volunteer to help out with a different task, to accept uncertainty and embrace experiences is what marks you out and moves you onwards and upwards. It really is true that you get out what you put in, but it often takes some inner courage to put your hand up. I can't think of an occasion when I've regretted the choice to have a go at something new. And as Thomas Edison reminds us, success is the process of going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. And that certainly held true for me. Just like an elite athlete, you need to extend and recover if you're to grow and improve. Recuperation and reflection remain an essential component of your development. So be sure not to crowd out the spaces in your life where you find that time. When asked about leadership, Field Marshal Lord Slim said that it was vital to find sufficient time for leisure. And he didn't mean a lay down on the sofa, although that might count. He meant processing time, the dog walk, the bicycle ride, reading time, during which the magical processes of human cognition somehow help to find solutions to all those other problems. Look after your body and your soul, as you're not complete when they compete. And finally, I'd like to offer my hearty and heartfelt congratulations to you all. Were I in a ship, I would order code Bravo Zulu close up on the starboard outer halyard, a resounding well done, where it's read as the first signal in pride of place. I hope you will thrive and enjoy every moment of the adventures that await in our endeavour as seafarers and maritime professionals, vital to the stability, security and prosperity of our nation through time, and in our current circumstances, we have never been more important. BZ, well done. Thank you.
Many thanks for your inspiring and insightful words, Rear Admiral. Ladies and gentlemen, we are fast approaching the presentation of awards. Therefore, I would now invite Principal Little to the front of the chancel to present the graduands with their scrolls, and Gus Grubb, Dean of Faculty of Nautical and STEM, to take his place to announce our graduands.
Thank you, Deputy Principal. It gives me a great honour to present to you the graduands from the Faculty of Nautical and STEM. HNC Marine Engineering, Lewis Atkin. Natasha Bell. Fatma Fried. Finlay MacDonald. Connor McGowan. Joseph Thomas Strickland. Luis Isaac Taroba Reyes. Craig Parry. HND Marine Engineering, Gregor Adam. Sam Blair. Aidan Brown. Caitlin Greenhill. Ewan Hay. Jack Hill. James Hill. Callan McLean. Dara Francis McGuinness. Michael MacArthur. Ryan McGrath. Samuel Jake Monroe. Kyle Pender. Jordan Price. Lewis Spence. Aaron Stewart. Ben Williamson. The PDA, Marine Management, Marine Engineering, Honor Anderson. Ian Barlow. Lee Barr. Zach Connell. Finlay Cooper. Joseph Ifer Curtis. Frederick Ferris. Bobby Fullerton. Ryan Alexander Gourlay. Samuel Hanley. Flynn Kerr. Callum MacDonald. Gregor Mackay. Ronan Miko. Kerr Smith. Adam Still. Jacob Taran. HND Marine Electrotechnology, Scott Anderson. Aidan Benson. Roberto Cifuentes. George Dixon. Sean Edwards. Hayden Fada. Glenn Gardner. Jamie Grant. Connor MacLeod. Guy Martins. Liam McCulloch. James Morrison. Toby Murray Anderson. Callan Sincox. Kyle Thompson. Adam Walker. HNC Nautical Science, Andrew Carmichael. Fionn Graham. Corey Jaffe. Ronan Lawrenson. John Finlay McKinnon. Dylan McFarlane. Grant McManus. Scott Peter Mumaw. Joshua Liam James Riggs. William Simpson. Harvey Wooldridge. Robert McLaughlin. HNC Nautical Science, Officer of the Watch, Experienced Seafarers Route. HND Nautical Science is Mohammed Al Gharib. Salman Al Savag. Fahad Al Shamari. Harry Cousins. Luca Cripps. Jamie Crisp. Lawrence Joseph Philip Dunn. Oliver Evans. Noah Griffiths. Rhys Hazelton. Ethan Henry. Rory Callum Mackenzie. Christy Morris John McLeod. Kieran Paul Masters. John Connor McKellar. Daniel James McLaughlin. Lewis McWilliam. And Thomas Tissot. Advanced Diploma Nautical Science, Mohammed Ali. Sandeep Halder. Saida Aline Jaffrey. Saida Dua Jaffrey. Mohammed Hassan Khan. Mohammed Tiab Malik. Mohammed Nabil Mandri. Meshak Ruban. Talib Taj. Saran Krishnan Villalal Lal Singh, Chauhan Vinay, Francis Mittal Yugan Fruz, the PDA, Marine Management, Nautical Science, Connor Aitchison, Serhai Borisenko, Eve Gallagher, Eva Jameson, Callum Johnston, Gordon McIntyre, Nathan Malone, Oliver McCarthy, Dominic Charles Alledre, Sophie Thompson, Ross Paul Walker, Angus Wilson, and Ellen Carter. Advanced Diploma Nautical Science, Chief Mates Master, Ashutosh Bajpai, Bharat Chauhan, Kartike Gupta, Ananda Krishnan Parambath, Ravish Sharma, Paras Vagadia, Sumitra Nitan Vishvarao, and Principal, that concludes the conferring of the names for the Faculty of Nautical and STEM. Congratulations, everyone. Well done.
Thank you, Principal. Thank you, Gus. Many congratulations again to all this evening's graduates. We now have the college prizes to present. So I'd like to invite our chair, Chris Deary, to step forward to present the college prizes. It gives me great pleasure to announce our college prize winners for 2026, those who have went above and beyond and exceeded expectations. The Best Practical Marine Engineer, sponsored by Clyde Marine Training, Toby Murray Anderson. Thank you, Toby. Next, Best Progress Award for Engineering / ETO, sponsored by Carnival UK, George Dixon. Best Progress Award in Nautical Science, sponsored by Carnival UK, Ethan Henry. Thank you, well done. The Faculty Recognition Award for Engineering, sponsored by Clyde Marine Training, goes to Gregor Mackay. Faculty Recognition Award for Nautical Science, sponsored by VELS, the Institute of Science, Technology and Advanced Studies, from our partner in India, is Sarayan Christian Lal Singh. Thank you very much for presenting the college prizes. Chair, I'd now make you take your seat, please. I would now like to invite some distinguished guests, Peter Stewart from Clyde Marine Training, to present the Clyde Marine Training Award Deck Cadet of the Year. Please step forward. And the Deck Cadet of the Year is Serhii Borisenko. Thank you, Peter. I would now like to invite our distinguished guest, Louise McLaughlin from Clyde Marine Training, to present the Clyde Marine Training Award for Engineering Cadet of the Year. And the Engineering Cadet of the Year is Mr. Jordan Price. Thank you, Louise, for all your help and support from Clyde Marine Training. I would now like to invite our distinguished guest, Mr. Jim Holmes from the Merchant Navy Association, to present the Merchant Navy Association Endeavour Award, sponsored by Clyde Marine Training. And the award goes to Mr. James Morrison. Done, and thank you, Jim, for all your help and support. I would now like to invite Dilys Lim from CPEAK to present the Betsy Miller Award. The CPEAK Betsy Miller Award recognises a student who has made a significant contribution to advancing diversity, equality and inclusion and helping to create a more inclusive future for the maritime industry. This year's recipient, Saida Dua Jaffrey, has organised inclusive events that celebrate religious diversity and promote greater understanding. She has also contributed to initiatives that strengthen support systems and create a more respectful and a more inclusive environment, both within the college and during your time in training. The CPEAK Betsy Miller Award, sponsored by the Maritime Training Institute, goes to Saida Dua Jaffrey. We now have the special awards to present, and I'm delighted to invite our guest speaker, Rear Admiral Steve McCarthy, CB, to step forward to present the Salvesen Trust Prize. The Salvesen Trust Prize is awarded annually to a cadet who has shown great determination to succeed throughout their studies. Sponsored by Just Be Maritime, the winner is Luca Cripps. Thank you, Rear Admiral, for presenting this special award. But before you take your seat, I would like to invite our Principal forward to present you with a small token of appreciation from the graduating class of 2026. Thank you. I would now like to invite Ron Robson, Commissioner of the Northern Lighthouse Board, to present the Northern Lighthouse Board prizes for 2026. These prizes recognise cadets who have demonstrated exceptional commitment to their future careers at sea, have achieved outstanding academic success throughout their studies. The first prize for Engineering Cadet of the Year, sponsored by Just Be Maritime, goes to Zach Connell. Cheer, well done, Zach. The next Northern Lighthouse Prize goes for the Deck Cadet of the Year, sponsored by Clyde Marine Training, is Connor Aitchison. Thank you, Ron. Thanks, Ron. So finally, heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of you, once again, to the incredible class of 2026. We hope today has been everything you dreamed of, a joyful celebration of your hard work, determination and well-earned success. You should feel immensely proud. You've deserved it. Well done. And in fact, your achievements are featured in today's Herald newspaper, which is a public testament to your excellence. So well done again. As you leave here today, we hope you celebrate with your friends and family. Not too much because it's a school night. However, wherever your journey takes you next, you will always be part of Team City and a member of City of Glasgow College. So please sign up to our Alumni Association. Enjoy the rest of your evening. There's here to the future that's filled with opportunity for you all. It would be remiss of me if I didn't say 4 words to you before I let you go. No Scotland, no party. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the platform party. Thank you.